Hey guys, I hope everyone is well. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Kena Umpile Khobane. And if you are new here, please do not leave without subscribing. Please help me reach you 2,000 subscribers. I would really appreciate it. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. I really do appreciate you. Please do not forget to like, guys. Please like the video. Please share with other people so that it can reach a broader audience. Please comment. Please set on or turn on your notification bells so that you get notified every time I put out a video. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I honestly appreciate it. So today I would like us to talk about the one thing that I feel is neglected in most marriages, mostly by women, mostly by us as wives, which is sex. So I've talked to a lot of men, especially in my one-on-one sessions, and if there's one thing that I picked up that is common is the sex life. A lot of them are complaining about their wives neglecting that part of their marriages. They take care of everything else. The house is clean, the wives cook, the wives tend to the kids, but the one thing that is neglected, or that we tend to neglect as women or as wives, is sex. We leave it to chance. It's either we do it, whether we do it or not, it's not really much of an issue. It's not really much of a big deal to us. Most of us don't prioritize it, and we are not so intentional about it. So I would like us to talk about it. And honestly, I don't want to lie, whenever I would have one-on-one sessions with these men and they would talk about their sex life, I would literally hear my husband through them. I would literally recall some of the things that my husband said to me throughout the years of our marriage. He would literally complain about it, and I was like, but it's not a big deal, up until I learned that sex is not the same to men as it is to women. You know, we don't understand it the same way, and we don't treat it the same way. That's one thing I've realized, and I will talk about some of the things I've realized about sex when it comes to men. But before we go to that, I would like to talk about these two type of intercourses, if I may put it like that, especially for us as married people, and because I would like to believe that sex was mainly created for us to have it inside marriage. So I had a conversation with this other guy, and he was talking about the intimacy and performance type of intercourse, right? And he went on to say that the performance type of intercourse is what most women do, the intercourse that is motivated by other factors. So we will say it's either your wife, your husband gave you money, it's either you feel well treated in your marriage, it's either you're in a happy mood, then only then you will have sex. But when those things are not in play, when you are not motivated to have sex, then you don't have it. So in other words, we are not so intentional about it, and we do not place so much importance to it as women. We do not prioritize sex in our marriages, and that is honestly a problem, if I may be honest. There's a scripture in the book of First Corinthians that talks about 1 Corinthians 7, right? It talks about not depriving one another, and when you read that scripture, it tells us that do not deprive each other of sex unless if you guys agree to go and pray. But even if that's the case, come back together. Don't pray for too long. Come back together so that the enemy does not tempt you, or so that you do not fall into temptation, right? It literally goes to show that this is one area that the enemy uses to creep into marriages. This is one area that he uses when it's not well taken care of, when this particular area of the marriage, which is the sex part of the marriage, is not taken care of. You leave room for the enemy to come in to break and destroy your marriage. With that being said, you get to have a sense of the importance, or you get to see the importance of sex in marriage. It's not something that you can put it to chance. It's not something that you can gamble with. Whether you do it or not, it's fine, but it's something that is needed, which then goes to the other type of intercourse, which is the intimacy intercourse. This one, you understand that we are doing this to sustain the covenant. It is for the sustainability of the covenant that you have taken and you have made with God. You understand that this institution that I'm in thrives through this. You know, when you guys have sex that much, you become so united. You vibrate in the same frequency. You guys understand one another. You guys are in sync. You know, this guy on one of the lives on TikTok said to us that sex is so important that when a couple does not agree on something, all they need to do is to have sex. Listen, let them have sex, let them be consistent, let them have sex on a daily, and within no time they will be in agreement. They will know what to do. They will have the one mindset when it comes to decision making, because they are that united. And that is what sex does to us. It unites us. It brings us to that place of oneness, because scripture does say that two shall become one flesh. And for us to become one flesh, we literally need to ensure that this part of our marriages is well taken care of. So that's the intimacy part of, or the intimacy type of intercourse. Make sure that you understand that this is not something that I'm just doing because of we are in a relationship. People who are in a relationship needs to have sex. It's more than that. Once you are in the covenant of marriage, it is more than that. It is not just doing it because you have to do it, but it brings us closer to one another. It brings that form of oneness, and we tend to, like scripture says, become one. That's what I understand. So with that being said, during the years, I've been married for 7 years. I would like to believe I'm still a newlywed, but in this 7 years, I've picked up something. I've seen something when it comes to men and sex, my husband, and this particular thing that we're talking about, which is sex. All right. Number one, I've noticed that sex is a need and not a want when it comes to men. They need sex. They don't want sex, they need it. And this is something that I did not understand. Like I said earlier on, I don't think I placed the necessary importance to sex as I should have. I don't think I understood how important it is, firstly for our marriage, and secondly for my husband. You get what I mean? So you need to understand, or I've learned throughout the years, that sex is a need to men. They need sex. And let me tell you, as we become one, like I said, scripture says we become one flesh. It means that my husband's needs then becomes my needs. Whether I want it or not, I need to give it to my husband. You know, I always say that in marriage, you cook even though you're not hungry. I always make that example, because if I'm not hungry, I can just snack the night away and sleep. But because there's someone that is hungry, which is my husband, I have to cook for him. He has a need. He needs to eat. Someone said, treat sex as a duty. Whether you feel like it or not, you go to work. And we should use the same concept, because you don't get a break from being a wife. You are a wife 24/7. As much as you are a mother 24/7, you are a wife 24/7. So treat sex the same way. That's one thing I've learned. Treat it the same way. Don't put it to chance. Understand that your husband needs it. And because it is one thing that he needs, who is responsible to meet that need? You. I said earlier on, the enemy uses something that the one partner is deprived of to creep into marriage. And it goes both ways. It goes vice versa. So if your husband is deprived of sex, let me tell you, he will use sex to break the marriage. If the wife is deprived of affection, for example, he will use that to his advantage. So make sure that we do not leave any form of loopholes for him, or any gaps for him to enter into our marriages and destroy them. Number two, I realized that men thrive on sex. Let me tell you, I used to think that my husband is not a morning person. I used to think that when he wakes up, he's grumpy, he needs to defrost. But actually, that's not true. That is not true. My husband is not a grumpy person in the morning. My husband is a morning person. The one thing that he needs when he wakes up, before he could even face the world, is sex from his wife. So I got to understand that actually my husband thrives when this part of our marriage is okay. He thrives. He's able to go to work and face the world. He's able to face any challenge as long as we are united. And one way of uniting us is through sex. So they thrive when that department is well taken care of in their home. Listen, a well-fed man will worship the ground that you walk in. Okay, a well-fed man will literally treat you like an egg. He'll ensure that you are covered, you are protected. So that's one thing that I've also realized throughout the years, that they thrive when that part of their marriages, or that part of their marriage, is well taken care of. And then the third thing is that, I used to have this idea. My husband used to complain about this. I'll mention it in a few. He used to complain about this one thing, and I would feel like, oh man, I'm a woman, I need to be pursued, even in the bedroom I want to be pursued, and making it his responsibility to always initiate sex. Yep, that's the one thing that my husband used to complain about. And a whole lot of men that I've spoken to in my one-on-one sessions, they are like, Mam Khwabane, let me tell you, they do not initiate. Our wives do not initiate sex. And I didn't understand that. Like I said, I felt like, but we are the women, can you pursue me, can you want me? But then I got to sit down and think, what if my husband just stops appreciating me? What if he stops telling me that I look good, even though I've put effort to look like a snake, and he just decides not to compliment me? How will I feel? And I think that's the same way with them. When we do not initiate, they feel less of men. They feel like we are not attracted to them. They feel like they don't do the deeds the way they should be doing it. They don't hit the right spots or the right parts. It kills their self-esteem. That's one thing I've realized. It kills their manhood. The fact that we do not initiate literally kills their manhood. It instills doubt. They start doubting themselves. They start wondering if they are good. Their performance is as good as it used to. And I realized that in not initiating sex, I'm literally killing my husband's manhood. Indirectly so. And going back to the scripture, 1 Corinthians chapter 7, there's a verse there that says, wives, your bodies are no longer yours. They are under the authority of your husbands. As in the same way, husbands, your bodies do not belong to you anymore. Your wives has authority over your bodies. Your wives has authority over your bodies. That on its own goes to say, I also can say, babe, I want to have sex. Because it's not his body, it's my body. So I also have that space to initiate, to say, hey man, today I feel like, I want the deed, let's do it. Pursue him, basically. So that scripture literally just goes to show us that we can also initiate. It's not only their responsibility to ask for sex, to initiate sex. And most of the time when they initiate, you can see this is just mediocre sex. It's like we're just being given to finish, and just, it's not really that person is not really invested and really involved in what we are doing. So I thought and I felt the need to share this, not just for content's sake, but for us to literally correct ourselves, to rectify, to reflect and see, am I this wife? And if you are, let's rectify. Let's hear our husbands' cries. Let's attend to them, and let's not just ignore what they're not happy with in our marriages. So wifeys, I hope to believe that you will go back, rectify. Let's pull up our socks, and let's give our husbands their conjugal rights. Thank you so much for watching. I think I'm going to close it here. Thank you so much for watching. Up until the next one, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to comment. Bye.